Well, hello there, listener. My name is Matthew Renfro, host of The Fro Show, and you're listening to another great Four-Eyed Radio product. For more shows, check out foureyedradio.com.
Hey listeners, Eric here, also known as Trekkie B47, from the Starfleet Escape Podcast and the Ranger Command Power Hour. The more phenomenal episode you're about to listen to is brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com.
This is Rich from My Take Radio.
This is Ceremony.
This is Nadia Sonic.
This is Brimstone.
This is Marie Doll.
And you are listening to Straight Outta Austin.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Straight Outta Austin, with vocals by Amuru.
Oh, come on.
I caught mine at the last minute. Anyway, this is Prometheus.
This is Amuro.
This is Button 07.
This is Ice.
And we're still waiting for Fuzzy Slippers.
He's evading those bloodthirsty hippos, mate.
Crikey! They got him by the balls, but he plans to get out unscathed. I don't know.
Making sure his slippers are fuzzy, extra fuzzy.
Yeah. Well, they aren't the only things the hippos find fuzzy in their mouths. Well, you know, he didn't ask for pizza this week, so I don't know if he's actually going to show up. That's usually a sign that he's going to be there. It's like
snacks.
Yeah. He didn't ask for pizza, snacks, or beer, so I don't know.
He asked for Smash Brothers because I got the GameCube adapter.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't have one yet, but I have one, so you can put
we might be good.
we can finish it.
Well, that's at least a good sign. So he didn't ask for food. We did ask for Smash Brothers, so we might be in clear waters there. Anyway, so obviously we're going to discuss what is on the tips of everyone's tongues. Well, those of you who watch The Walking Dead, we're going to talk about The Walking Dead mid-season finale and how Facebook spoiled it all. But we're not going to talk about that yet. No, you gotta wait. And then we'll get to it. So just let the anticipation build deep in the depths of your soul.
Pretend like there's a banana bread in the oven.
And you're Donkey Kong.
And you're Donkey Kong. You can't wait, but if you wait those extra 30 minutes, it's going to be the most delicious banana bread you've ever had. And this is what this is.
Does that make it barrels of fun?
Yeah. So it's been a while since we've... It's been a while since we've done this, but let's do a little heart-to-heart, a little quick roundtable, see what's been going on in everybody's lives. So, Luis, I know you have a story for us. This was your first Black Friday that you've worked, correct?
Yes, I worked my Black Friday in one of the places where you don't really want to be at work because it's going to be a madhouse, and that's GameStop. And yeah, there was no traveling. I actually got to the store just fine. Nobody else got trampled, no customers or the worker, so I mean, that's a success story right there.
Nobody died.
Yeah, right.
Nobody died.
He's like, why did you say no one died? I said no one got trampled.
Plenty of people got shot, stabbed.
Someone got stabbed with like a broken
pike.
game.
Someone got jaw freed a couple times.
Yeah, right.
Wiimotes flying through the air.
Someone got red weddinged. They walk in there. GameStop sends the regard. Shank, shank, shank.
Got a Wii mode stuck up their ass.
But that was what they asked for.
Yeah. Still didn't keep them from dying from the impact.
Someone got a shake weight in the balls.
Oh my god.
The worst part is
Stimuli.
it's still shaking while you're unconscious.
It's still shaking.
It's on vibrate.
Yeah, they're right. This is worse than the Rumble Pack.
So yeah, I actually got there about an hour before my shift started because I went to trade in like over 30 games. I wasn't playing anymore. Some PS3s, a couple Wii's, and some DS games. So I can trade them and finally get a Wii U that I've been saving up for a very long time. So with all my trade-ins, I got like $175 in trade-ins.
Wow.
I already had like
pretty
$60
good, actually.
in gift cards. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And then, so in the end, I literally only paid $80 for my Wii U.
Okay.
Nice.
So I'm like, hey, I just saved myself like $220. Awesome.
Did you get
Winning.
Like $8 per trade-in?
I was gonna say, it's like you got a lot of money for that.
A lot of the trade-ins, yeah, a lot of them were like $11, and the ones that were the most were like old Pokemon games, like Diamond, Pearl, Heart Gold. Like, you know what? Well, I still have Y. I'm gonna get the new, Ruby and Sapphire remakes eventually. So let me trade these old ones. I'm not gonna play them anymore. They each got me from $16 to $22 each.
Oh,
not bad.
wow.
Yeah. For GameStop, that is great.
Yes.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, so I
Virtually unheard
renewed
of.
my pro membership because I gotta get that full value. So yes, I've been playing it almost nonstop because it's amazing. Listen, any system that lets you go to the bathroom, poop, and still play it is a gift from God.
This is
That's what I'm
true.
gonna say.
Yes.
I will actually say that should, like, whenever they make commercials for the Wii U, that should be their selling point.
No, they haven't. Nobody's said that since the shortwave radio was made.
Old time radio. That
You
should
know,
be the commercial. Like, they're having like a really
That's
intense
what-
game of like Smash Bros. And they're like, I gotta poop. Wait, I can still play.
I can still play this.
On the toilet they're playing.
Exactly. So yeah, but yeah, the whole when I got there, my shift started at 2. But I would say I got there an hour early so I can have time, to trade in and make sure I get a Wii U. So I got the wrong one, and I really wanted the Luigi and Mario U bundle, but the guy in front of me, that bastard, took the last one.
Oh.
Bastard
Like I still
customer.
wanted, and
You should
I
have
was gonna
Sam
get them
Fisher them.
eventually, but I wanted those games more, and that guy got us. Like, oh, damn.
No.
Okay, fine, I'll settle for the 3D World. By the time I got in line and got to the counter and did everything, it was already 10 minutes about my shit about to start.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how the line was like out the door, and just like so many people there, and it was like that throughout the whole time. By the time I got off at 6, it was just people everywhere, nonstop, in and out, in and out, in and out. And like I said, I actually survived. It was great, and I actually impressed because one of the higher ups. Well, she was like, yeah, I was very impressed. This is your first Black Friday. I was like, yeah. I was like, wow. He's like, you did a great job. I'm glad I had you out on the floor, greeting and helping people. He's like, you did a great job. I was like, sweet. It's like, just remember that when you guys keep seasonal people afterwards.
Yeah, all right. He's probably like, he did a lot better than the other guy. What happened to the other guy? Well, we're going to go have his remembrance tomorrow.
His funeral's at 12 o'clock.
Yeah. We told him to hold the line, but he broke rank.
He approved too many returns.
Yeah, right. He paid out too much.
They were doing some great deals, like a lot of like the PS4 and like Xbox One controllers that they normally sell for like $60 were selling like on sale for like $45. So people were just like coming in and grabbing like everything they can.
Okay, I just want to say one quick thing because PS4 controllers are like $50,
Yeah.
and PS3 controllers are still close to $60, and they have yet to come down in price. It's been a year. It's been a fucking year since the new generation dropped, and PS3 controllers are still not less than $50.
Yeah.
They should be less. Okay, this may be asking for too much, but considering this system's been out for like 8 years now, it should be at the most, at the top most, $29.99.
No, I agree.
Yeah, okay.
Half
I was
off,
thinking-
half the price. I don't know how many controllers I've gone through and broken. No. See, you're getting it twisted already. Not because I threw them against the walls. I haven't done that shit since I was like 29. It's been 2 years. a year and a couple of months.
Now since Ninja Gaiden.
Okay, so maybe it's been like 4 years. But yeah, all the controls I have, and I've had some for quite a while, but they all get destroyed from wear and tear.
Yeah.
And mostly it was just those 2 years that I played Marvel, like religiously.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just learning combos. You know how long it took me just to learn a good combo? You know? And all those hours of effort because I'm not naturally good at fighting games. Mm-hmm. And just sitting there learning how to plink dash and do all this other crazy shit and OTGs and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I've got like 6 controllers, and of all those controllers, 2 of them work pretty good.
Only 2 survived the Marvel onslaught.
Yeah, all the rest work, but you just have to kind of push the buttons a little harder than usual. You know, a little bit extra effort. So I save those ones, like when I'm playing something like a RPG or something, where you don't really have to mash or like do quick button movement, where you can just kind of sit there and take your time. If down doesn't work, and like, down, okay, now press attack. You know, something like that. But yeah, every time I go, like I went to Target the other day, and I was like, Black Friday sales, right? So generally a lot of things just kind of go down in price a little bit, you know, like a 10-15% discount off regular items. Yeah. You know, that's not even like the actual Black Friday items or like other like grand discount stuff. PS3 controllers, $54.99. It's like, really? Really? And then I see PS4 controllers, PS3 controllers for $54.99, and then PS4 controllers are like $45. So I was like, seriously? This is ridiculous.
I think Sony's still trying to recoup that PS3 money.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I thought they broke even.
No,
like
they
a year
finally
and a half
did.
Ago. Yeah.
But they're like, now we want more profit.
It's just ridiculous, man. It is so frustrating. It's like they're good controllers, but they're only like slightly heightened versions of the PS2 controller.
Yeah.
The PS4 controller is, you know, it's yet to be proven, but it looks like an immaculate piece of equipment. Like, probably going to go. I am guessing that it might be like one of the top 10 best controllers ever, you know, made. You know, it'll be on one of those bullshit lists that Kotaku comes out with.
Sponsored by IGN.
Yeah, IGN comes out with or something. Sponsored. This post sponsored by Sony. But whatever. Moving on.
I did see they did like a review of the Wii U from IGN. Think of it 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
Yeah.
See, it was fun because I'm like going on week 4 of Tumblr, and I'm like so addicted to it. I've already gotten like almost 1,300 posts and like 2,000 something favorites.
Yeah. Wow. I see that on Twitter.
Yeah, and I got like 15 followers. Yeah, but it's actually done a lot to boost my Twitter feed. Yeah. Because I don't use Twitter that much, but I've been getting like a lot of favorites and likes and retweets from like people I don't even know. Yeah. And by that, I've been actually getting more followers, and like, you know, you get those weekly Twitter stats. Yeah. And then I get like a lot more views to my page. A lot more people are starting to follow me. So I was like, oh, this is pretty useful. Maybe we should do this for like the actual Pit War page or Pit War Twitter or something.
I was just about to suggest that.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, there was this, I guess whenever the new Pokemon game came out, I guess IGN reviewed it, and it was one of the first posts I saw when I was on Tumblr, and the guy was like so fucking pissed off. And it was like, it was all Twitter posts that were print screened. But he was like, seriously, IGN's like, they gave a pretty damn good review of, which surprised me, gave a pretty good review of the new Pokemon game. I forget what it's called though. But one of the cons at the bottom, like their little grade sheet, they put too much water. And they were like, really? Too much water? And you give it what was it? It was like a 7.6 out of 10. And then he was talking about like the latest... I think it was Assassin's Creed had also just come out, and it's all glitchy and shit. And an 8.8. I was like, this game has like literally no glitches. Yeah. And you gave it 2 points off because there's too much water. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna start like a hashtag IGN reviews. They're like, played Assassin's Creed, the first Assassin's Creed, too many Muslims, 7 out of 10.
Too many assassinations.
Yeah, played Mario, too many
mushrooms.
Yeah, too many mushrooms. 6 out of 10. And it was just like down the list. Gears of War, Halo, the Halo Anniversary collection had all those glitches.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like fun. Like you're reading him, and it's just so funny. And then the very last one was the new Call of Duty game that came out.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Advanced Warfare.
Yeah.
Shitty reused graphics, outdated graphics from like 7 years ago. No dogs. Like all this other ridiculous crap. Bad voiceovers.
And
bland story. Not a great game. And then it said like 5 out of 10, and then in what do you call it? An asterisk. It said got paid for this review. 10 out of 10, perfect score. I was like, oh shit, they threw that down. I was like, no way.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious. If I can find that post, I'll post it in the chat room later. But it was a damn good laugh. And then the last thing he says, too much water. Fucking bullshit.
I swear, like all the things.
You can tell they got paid for that Assassin's one.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, pretty much that's how you can tell sometimes. I don't know, I haven't played Alien Isolation, but so far everyone I've talked to who has played it, or like any more independent reviews, people seem to like it. I think IGN gave it like a 5.0 or something. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure they did get paid for that one. I'm sure that's why they gave it, like, not even like a 7, like a passable, like, hey, play this. You might not love it, but if you're into horror, you might, enjoy it. But yeah, they just completely dogged that game. I was really surprised with all the hype that it got.
They didn't get the money they wanted.
There probably wasn't enough water, and there's not enough.
There's too much space.
Yeah, too many aliens.
There's too many stars if you look out the window. What the hell is this?
It scares me.
Well, it's just frustrating, like how I understand how like people would be inclined to like write off the Dynasty Warriors franchise because obviously, it's not their kind of game.
Yeah.
So, and I remember when Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 first came out, they were griping about the game. First off, they had a person that doesn't even play fighting games.
Yeah, I always hate
knows nothing about the anime and doesn't play like those anime-driven games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so he pretty much said that, and then he ended up giving the game like a 6.3, like because of the mechanics, whatever. And I was like, okay, well, from his perspective, I get it. But there are reviewers on their bullpen that know a lot about anime that are always raving about DVD box sets of whatever new anime that's coming out and doing anime reviews. It's like, why aren't those guys reviewing this? Because to the guy in the review, I remember, maybe you can even read back, but at least once or twice he goes, from what I've heard, it's very accurate to the manga and the anime. And I was just like, from what you've heard? What did you ask the guy in the cubicle? And they're like, hey, you know Naruto?
Hey, Frank!
And the only thing I could imagine was just like the guy in the cubicle next to him was like, oh, I love Naruto. It was like, oh, well, yeah, I had to do a review of Ninja Storm 2. I was like, oh, I wanted to do that review. It's like, yeah, well, I'm doing it. And I just wanted to know if you've played the game and if it's close to the story, because this happens, and then Frank's just going like, oh my god, yes, that sounds incredible. Yeah, that's exactly what happens in the story. It's like, okay, so from what I've heard, it follows the story. It's just like, God, like that's the only thing that kept running through my mind. Like, this guy knows nothing about this fucking game, and he gives it like a 6. So like, I wouldn't have given it that high of score, but it would have been above 7.
Yeah.
Had I graded it, I would have given it like a 7.4. It did need work, and the fighting mechanics weren't that good, and it wasn't good enough to be like a professionally played game. It was just something that you play for fun. But the story was still incredible. If you like the story of Naruto, you're gonna love the interactiveness of this game. Regardless. So I don't know. That's and then they gave it like a crap review, and I was just like, ugh, whatever. Fuck this guy. And then another one they did was what was it? I think it was the Ninja Gaiden. Oh, I mean, what they do with the Dynasty Warriors games, and then you can already tell they hate Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
And then they did the same thing with the latest Ninja Gaiden. I was like, obviously, it's got its fan base. Why wouldn't you put a guy on there that's like played the first 2 Ninja Gaidens and loved them, that they were difficult games, and then have this person critique like, oh, well, it wasn't as hard, or there were like faults here, and it just seemed like they completely wrote it off. And I remember it getting like a 4 point something out of 10. I was like, wow, yeah, you can tell that they didn't get money for that review, And then Dynasty Warriors, they just always write it off.
Yeah.
And like I've seen reviews from like Blogspots or WordPress, like indie guys that just as in love with the Gundam franchise as I am, and they're literally putting down like, this is what they changed, with the patch notes update, and here's what changed from 3 to Reborn.
Yeah.
And there's all these things, so it's going to make the gameplay a little more fun, a little more of this, a little more of that. But then when you see it like on the bigger websites, and they just kind of write it off, like, it's a fun game if you like to hack and or slash. And it's like, really? Really? Like, yeah, I get it. It is a lot of just that.
Yeah.
But there's like stuff like when you're building your Gundam, and they've changed like certain techniques and stuff like that, and like it's minuscule, but it matters to those of us that actually really enjoy playing these games.
Yeah.
So it's just frustrating getting a very like unapologetic and pretty much like non-sympathetic reviewer playing a game that they don't care about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's just one of many problems IGN has. Because I remember when I used to read, like, back when magazines were a thing, and people used to read them.
What's the magazine?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's some type of paper device. Oh wait, what's paper? But no, I used to read like there was like EGM, then there's like EGM Square. But they would like introduce, this is the review team. These are the games that they like. These are the games they're currently playing. And then it's like, okay, I think it was the guy whose name was like Sushi X, and there's a guy named Shu, and they were like the two video game guys or the two fighting game guys. So anytime they had a fighting game, those guys would review it because they're familiar. That's their genre. You'd have someone who loves sports games or likes racing games. It's like, and this was a magazine that maybe had 6 to 8 reviewers that I remember. IGN has like 6 to 8 people that review comics. Like just comics alone.
Yeah.
Let alone, actual video games. It's like, it's ridiculous that they can't find just one person to review each genre.
Yeah.
Let alone, with whatever their
or like a
expensive
multitude
staff is.
of genres.
Yeah,
like, all right, well, you've got the hack and slashers, you've got like the action type games like Devil May Cry's or something like that, and just you can have like certain reviewers like cover niche things while also covering like the grander scheme games. Like the games that everyone likes. Like, all right, well, we got like 3 other people working on like the big titles and a couple of other people working on niche titles. So as soon as you're done with this niche title, work on this big game or something like that. It's
yeah.
I understand it's easy for me to play armchair quarterback, but this is also a line of work that I've thought a lot about being in, and I know I could do a really good job at it. And just to see, like, I don't know, essentially, I don't know. I blame a lot of it on the News Corps ethic that they used to have, and I don't know if the current owner's trying to change any of that, but from what I've heard and from what very little I've seen of IGN, it doesn't seem like they've changed very much from that transition.
Yeah, not that I can tell, but I don't know. I definitely don't read their stuff nearly as much as I did before. But on the topic of video games, so for those that don't know, the Game of Thrones Telltale game is coming out. It's actually, I forgot, like for the PS4 and Xbox One is coming out earlier.
Yeah.
And then for PC and Mac, and then for PS3, I think by the 9th or something like that. I don't remember the exact release dates. But anyway, they've been teasing this game like all year. And it's like, they've been just throwing out little subtle hints that even someone who's obsessed with Game of Thrones, it's like, I would still have to really research to figure out what the hell they're talking about, and I just didn't care that much. I'm like, I just want to see, first of all, I want to see what the game looks like to know if I care enough to even want to play it. Because I have the original Game of Thrones game, and it is terrible, and I never played the Telltale Walking Dead game, so I'm like, alright, so, I don't have that hype of, oh yeah, this is what I want to see in Game of Thrones. So then they finally released, like, a teaser trailer. It's like, the graphics look okay, and they finally released, like, the full-length trailer. But anyway, I don't know, is this really, I guess because of the type of game that it is, where it's, like, very story-driven, I guess they felt like they couldn't give away too much of what the game had going on. But I think they did, like, the worst job teasing it, because if I didn't love Game of Thrones, I would not give a crap about this game. Right. Because, like, they showed, like, a few, like, it's like, I think it was, like, iron from wood or whatever, and happens to be, like, one of the houses from the north. It's like, okay. Because just to show, like, okay, so not only do I love the show, obviously read all the books, they had, like, a World of Ice and Fire book that recently came out, where all it is just, like, more background that has really nothing to do with, like, the main story.
It's just, like, fluff for, like, the hardcore
Yeah,
fans.
I bought that.
Right.
That's like sitting.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I looked
yeah.
at it for the past 2 weeks and was like, it looks like something I would like. Because it looks like almost like a picture book where you just want to. It's like how I like when I bought my map of Middle Earth.
Yeah.
And I just sit there and look at it while I'm eating breakfast. Sometimes like that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so, like to me,
like
that's what this book is to you. Like,
it's like 700.
You're just
pages.
looking at stuff. And you're just like, that's so cool. I'm glad I know this now.
Yeah. So
I'm
I
glad
don't know.
I know where dire wolves are mostly found.
I know what type of game they hunt and their sleeping patterns.
I like to know that a bear on Bear Island weighs 2.2 kilograms. Some shit like that.
3.5 stone. But I don't know. But it was like, yeah, I was really disappointed because it just all of a sudden it was like, we're not going to tell you anything. We're not going to tell you anything. Oh, by the way, it's coming out in 2 weeks. It's like, what?
Yeah, I was like,
That's
what?
How is that promoting the game at all?
Yeah.
And
Terrible.
yeah,
Wasn't it? I forgot what company or did that back in E3, years ago, where they're like, oh yeah, by the way, the system's out today.
Oh yeah, I think it was some fighting game. It was like had this ridiculous long title. I forget what it was.
Oh, was it Persona 4?
No.
Ultimate
No, it
Superplex?
was some system, and the company's, oh yeah, we're releasing it today, and then like the video.
Oh,
game
the
companies
Ouya?
were pissed. So like, what? Our games don't come out till fall. What do you mean the system's out today?
Was it the Ouya?
That's the only one I can think of. Would have been the Ouya.
I can't remember.
That was the one that was Kickstarter funded about a year or so ago.
No, this was a long time ago.
Okay.
I'm probably thinking of
Maybe
something
it
else
was a
then.
Saturn.
RP. Well, I don't know. Despite my disappointment, I'm actually still pretty excited about the game. I'm like, well, now I got something to do from now until like April. When
Well,
the show
Telltale
comes
is
out.
pretty solid. As much as I had gripes about the Walking Dead game,
Yeah.
it was still a good game. It was well made, and as far as story structure, was really good.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the forced choices aspect. Because it was very much a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why am I playing this game? Because I'm getting fucked either way. Just like, what
That
the
sure is
fuck?
called life.
Yeah, it really is.
Pretty much.
But I mean, that's what I didn't like about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, because it's okay, especially when you play games like Mass Effect, which I haven't played, but I know, like, if you make a choice, a character can die. Like, your choices can affect the outcome.
Right.
And then, so, for those games to have been around for, I don't know, the first Mass Effect came out at least, I want to say at least 7 years ago, if not longer than that. But it's that's something that's a staple now in video games. So to come out with a game where it's all about making choices, and every choice you make has the same result anyway, then it's like, well, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
Unless that is the point for, like, I don't know, if it was like a weird, like, this is the illusion of choice. Like, what is that game now? Spec Ops: The Line, where it's kind of like, you make the choices, but you feel like you don't have a choice, and then later on it's revealed, like, well, there kind of were other ways to go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, with that one, it's specifically supposed to be, like, a mind
And
fuck.
there are, like, a couple of different outcomes for the end.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's at least... Yeah, there are a lot of different outcomes. I think there's
At least
3 to 5, yeah.
At least 3 that I know of.
Yeah. So, yeah, and with that, you can actually get a different ending. So, I don't know. I'm excited. It's going to be weird because Game of Thrones is a show/book that kills off a lot of characters. And for it to tie in with the show, it'd be weird to see characters that don't actually die. Are they still going to be safe? Like, if you're playing as Tyrion, it's like, is he still going to be able to die? Or is it just like, well, we're just going to kill him for the game?
Like, can you kill Theon the way he dies in the book? Or, can you let him live on the way he does in the series?
Yeah.
Or in the show?
Yeah, so it's something like that. I don't know. Well, I guess you're going to play, like, lesser characters, actually. But, I mean, the main characters are kind of intertwined with it. But anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So, we'll see. I don't have much longer to wait, because, hey, they just sprung it on everybody. Hey, here it is.
Oh, shit, I got to come up with $20.
Yeah, right. That was the real reason for my gripe. Damn it, I didn't save. But anyway. So, without further ado, The Walking Dead. This is the time I wish Fuzzy Slippers was here just so he can go, Carl! But
I just got word that he's like fell asleep and just woke up.
Oh, really?
So I don't think he's gonna show.
He's probably lying. He's
tell him
probably
to
making barbecue for his grandma.
Tell him to show up anyway.
I told him he could come by, but he said by the time he gets here there'll be like 15, 20 minutes left. It takes like an hour to get here for him.
Yeah, well. Yeah, well, that's fine. We'll do a special broadcast for him. AKA Hangout, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so before I even saw the episode, because I see it afterwards, 'cause I don't have cable, so I have to acquire it through other means. I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I'm like, trying to avoid spoilers, and all of a sudden I see this huge picture of Daryl Dixon holding Beth in his arms. I'm just like, God damn it. And it just says RP Beth. It's like, really? And it would have been one thing if it was like someone I was friends with or like some other blog or whatever, but it's like the official Walking Dead page, less than 24 hours, like spoiling it. And then I found out it wasn't just that they spoiled it for me. Apparently they spoiled it for the entire West Coast because they hadn't even broadcasted there yet.
Yeah, because they're like 1 or 2 hours behind our time.
Yeah, so they came out with an apology. So, I don't know. It's just like, how do you not know that that's not going to be a problem, you know? Like, anytime you have, especially being the official page, like, at least, spoilers should at least wait, like, at least, like, 24 hours. Like, after that, it's fair game. But it's like, and with that, it was like, I think, Isa told me it was like 10 minutes afterwards, after the show had just aired, they put that up there. So, like, wow, that's someone definitely dropped the ball there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would say overall this season was a lot better than last season.
Yes, definitely.
I don't know. It was good. This last episode was mostly good, but I still felt like it was a little bit cheap at the very end. So basically, like I said, Beth dies. So no one really gave a crap about Beth prior to the season anyway. And in typical Walking Dead fashion, they're like, before we kill off a character, we're going to make you care about them.
Like you love her.
Yeah, basically. It's like, wow, Beth is cool. She's finally actually, standing up to people. Yeah. She's not just wallpaper. And then it's just like...
That's how you know, that was all the signs where they're finally, making her say things that, felt important. Like, oh, she's going to go.
Yeah. But it sucks because it's like, I guess to me the fact that they killed Beth didn't bother me as much as how they killed Beth. Because she seemed like she died in the most pointless way possible. I get where she was coming from. So basically, for those who didn't see it, Beth was rescued by these hospital workers. They're pretty much like slaves of the former police officers that are running everything. And she's seen like all the terrible things that had been happening under the watch of, I forgot what her name was, Dawn?
Dawn.
Yeah, so there's this female police officer, and she's like in charge. And she's like trying to keep a balance between the cops and the workers. And, so some of the workers have been getting raped by some of the police officers, and she's been letting it slide because in her mind it's like, this is what we have to do to maintain order. So Beth is like, yeah, fuck this. Before I go, let me kill you. Which, okay, I didn't have a problem with that. But to me, the whole thing was like, not only did she not even kill her, I guess, okay, so this whole thing, so they exchange the 2 cops that they had captured for Beth and Carol. And then, Dawn was like, well, we want that kid from Everyone Hates Chris, so give him to us. So Beth is all pissed off. So she had some scissors she had stashed in her cast, and then tried to stab she did stab the Dawn. But it was like, okay, this was the way it happened. So she stabs Dawn. Dawn reacts, obviously, like anyone would have got stabbed, unknowingly.
You stabbed me.
Yeah, basically. So shoots Beth in the head and kills her.
Oh, shit.
But then she has this look on her face like, I didn't mean to do that. Like she just seems really flustered, but obviously Daryl wasn't having it and kills her. But I mean, it's just like she probably would have survived that wound. Like I don't know,
it wasn't even. I think she was trying to aim for her neck, but she did it like right under her collarbone.
Yeah, exactly. She like stabbed her in the collarbone. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing that bothered me. It's like you didn't even kill her, Beth. Come on.
and then the thing is, Dawn still had her gun in the holster. Like I think her hand was still on it. I mean, on the weapon, but the weapon was still in her holster. So after that takes like 2 seconds, more than 2 seconds to unbutton, take it out, aim it. Because the way she shot her was from under her chin, and the bullet went through her head and then out her skull.
Yeah.
That takes a few. I mean, see, then I like one of those like cowboy movie speed, like that real life.
She's the quickest gun in the South. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I meant to go back and check. I was like, was her gun even in her hand? Because it was instantaneously.
No, it
yeah, it was like.
Yeah, the second Beth stabbed her, it was like, boom, you're dead. I was like, what? Exactly. How did this happen? So I don't know. I just felt like the way it played out felt kind of rushed. I was just like, what?
It very much rushed.
And the thing that sucked too, and Dawn was like a perfect example of like a character you just finally kind of cared about because she was turning around too, where she's like, well, I'm just not going to stand by and let these atrocities go on anymore. And she beats the crap out of this other cop, and then Beth like pushes her down an elevator shaft. I was like, all right, she seems pretty badass. I'd like to see how she, works out if she joins up with Rick and them. And then she's like dead 2 scenes later. Like, well, so much for that.
Hey, in all honesty, she deserved this. That's all I gotta say. She deserved to go.
She definitely deserved to go, but it sucks that she took Beth down with her.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
And then what really sucked was Maggie, where it's like, hey, Maggie, Beth's alive!
Oh, yeah.
She's all happy.
It's all happy and stuff.
And then she gets there just in time to see, like, Beth's lifeless body. Who's like, shouldn't have taken that trip to D.C. But it was kind of funny, too, because that was the only time she seemed to even care about Beth the entire season. And it was like, oh, well, she probably should have cared just a little bit more. But I don't know. I think overall, the episode and the season as a whole was a step in the right direction. But yeah, that last little scene where Beth dies was just, I don't know, just really poorly executed, I thought.
Well, what's funny, though, is that while I was watching The Talking Dead, they did a poll of, about Dawn, and she deserved to go or not, or something like that. And I think it was like 92% said yes, or 93% said yes, and 7% said no. I'm like, what? Are you crazy? What do you mean 7% said no? She had Beth killed. What are you doing? What's wrong with you people?
Yeah. I mean, they expressed on her face, she looks like she didn't mean to kill Beth. Sometimes guns just magically appear out of their holsters, and you just somehow...
You're already on the trigger.
Yeah, and you somehow shoot from the hip in an impossible angle and blow someone's brain out. It happens.
Someone behind the scenes wasn't paying attention.
That's exactly what it seemed like. It seemed like when they aired the episode, like, oops, that wasn't the take we meant to air. we had a whole nother one that made more sense. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I remember them saying they should have gone with Rick's plan and Beth would have been alive. I'm like, yep, definitely so.
Yeah, I hope after the season they start listening to Rick more, because he's been right every time.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we should probably go back and kill those cannibals. Nah, Rick, they're dead. Let's just move on. And then it's like, nope, they're trying to eat Bob now. Hey, Rick, we should, do this plan. And it was like, Rick is. It's funny. Like, people have been comparing Rick to Shane. And I guess for some people that's a bad thing. A lot of people hated Shane. I loved Shane personally. He was like my favorite character before he died. And now like Rick is, he's pretty merciless at this point. Like, with the guy who ran down.
He hit that cop who was handcuffed like in the back, and then like shot him in the head on the ground.
Yeah. After I think his back was already broken.
Yeah.
What hell of a scene to open up with.
What was that?
So that was one hell of a scene to open up with.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey. Rick tells you to stop. You stop.
You should have stopped. You should have stopped. It was simple. You should have stopped.
Did I say stop? Now shut up and die.
Well, the thing, too, is if he didn't try to escape to begin with, he would have been all right. Because no one in the exchange got killed. Well, except for Beth. But that was kind of her own doing. Like, had he just went with a plan and said, all right, I'll be good. I'll actually man up to my word and get traded, he would have been okay. So, I don't know. I guess it just disappointed me because, like, they did everything right, and it was just, like, that one moment, and I feel like I'm nitpicking, but I feel like because, like, finally I'm like, Beth is finally cool, like, I guess I felt like she deserved, like, a better death than that.
Yeah, she did.
But I guess on the same token, at least she died, like, for something, or at least, like, it was still somewhat meaningful, because, the whole thing was, like, when she stabbed her, I'm sure she knew she was going to die shortly afterwards. But I'm sure she figured, like, hey, this is worth doing just so these people don't have to deal with her anymore. Even though now they probably have even worse people in charge. But hey, it's a thought that counts, I guess.
I think they all hated Dawn, really. Because, like, Dawn was... She seemed, like, really mean at first.
Yeah.
Then I guess she was, like, coming around, like revealing her true self.
Yeah.
To Beth.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Actually, that's true, because even, like, her kind of better self, she was still, like, really conniving. Like, Beth is just like, all you do is use people. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, Dom's definitely terrible. But, I mean, with all the other cops that were, like, abusing all the workers,
that's
like,
true.
They still have to deal with them, and now they don't have anyone else. But I guess, I don't know, I guess they're really in the same position. And Rick did extend the offer, like, hey, if you want to leave, like, no one left that I saw.
There's no other trade-offs. Really.
Yeah, so, well, I guess... I guess they liked it there, They're like, I just love the whole thing. It's like, we'll be safe here. It's like, if you call that safe. I do think it's funny how I think the amount of time that's elapsed has been like a year or so, and they still have like medical equipment
Yeah.
Like, I think even a regular hospital probably would have run out by now. Like, without zombies everywhere, they probably need some type of like resupply. But anyway, moving on to the first topic. So, Marvel has been beefing with Fox over the Fantastic Four. They've been saying
X-Men, among other things.
Yeah, mainly Fantastic Four though. Well, I guess X-Men too with the death of Wolverine.
Uh-huh.
But they've been like, yeah, we totally didn't cancel Fantastic Four. It's got nothing to do with the movie. We don't care. We're not that petty. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we just killed the Fantastic Four cast in one of our comics, but totally don't pay attention. Yeah. It's such a weird scene.
The most family-friendly comic dies in the most unfamily-friendly comic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty ironic.
It's like, really, Marvel? Really? And Marvel's just looking at you like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Give us those rights back.
It just makes Marvel look so petty. It's like when somebody gets dumped and they don't like, oh, I'm gonna say I dumped them. I'm gonna spend all this. It's just like Marvel's acting like that. It's just they're being idiots.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it's really petty. I mean, I guess without seeing the context of the scene, it's just them sitting at a diner and they're waiting for Michael B. Jordan's character. And then all of a sudden, bombs start going off and they get blown up. So I don't know. It just seems like such a throwaway scene. Like it wasn't even like, I don't know, they're pretending to be superheroes. Like they took their characters too seriously and then they get killed. It's just like, hey, let's just kill this cast. Now I'm sure. Well, actually, I was gonna say I'm sure it was just kind of like the writer wanting to throw a jab in there, but obviously Marvel approved it. They weren't like, oh, let's not look like we're slinging mud. So obviously they, were okay with it, and they've obviously, nixed other things for stupid reasons, like, hey, Spider-Man can't be married. So obviously, they have that editorial power to just be like, no, we don't want this. So I don't know. It just seems really ridiculous, especially for a movie that doesn't look like it's going to be all that good anyway.
I haven't seen like anything from it, like no like teaser trailer or any news of it really.
The only thing I saw is that Dr. Doom is supposed to be a blogger.
I saw that, but after that...
Yeah, it's just funny because, like, at Newsarama, they put up, like, 2 articles where, like, guys, we should give this movie and the Fox Studios a break. Let's give it a chance. And I'm like, no, let's not do that because there's absolutely no reason to do that.
Well, it's funny because I was all for giving them a chance. I was like, whatever, change the origin, make it a not comic book movie. That kind of was like, yeah, but as long as we get Dr. Doom as Dr. Doom, and he's like, he's going to be a blogger, and his nickname is Doom. Done. Done.
He's not even a doctor, he's just Doom.
Yeah. And, and have the original 2 Fantastic Four movies never came out, it probably wouldn't bother me as much, but it's just like, this is the reboot, and Dr. Doom still has no one's had the balls to just do him as he's supposed to be done. Like, he's one of the greatest comic book villains, and they're just like, well, we can't have him on screen. Like, no one would take him seriously.
No one would love him.
Yeah, yeah. People love the talking tree and a talking raccoon. I think we can have, like, a supervillain that's also, like, a dictator over his own country. Cause
it just seems like there's, like, one risk at a time, guys. One risk at a time.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's upsetting. But, yeah, so apparently they released the synopsis as well on, I think it's comicbookmovie.com. Let me see if there's anything that's actually worth talking about. Blah, 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 blah.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Something about Doom finding out Fantastic Four acquired powers. He's angry that it's not him. So he comes up with a plan to break into the Baxter building, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And something about Doombots.
But what's funny, though, is that the reason they get the powers is because of him in the movie. Like, he does his little blogger hack thing, hacks into the Baxter building, screws up the experiment, and creates the Fantastic Four. Then he's mad that he didn't get powers. Well, then he should have been there and then done the hacking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Apparently he just didn't plan things out well. Well, I mean, if he did that, couldn't he just hack it again, but just actually be in the building? Like, wouldn't that make it a lot easier,
Who knows? But if you keep reading, you notice that, like the experiment happens in the Baxter building, and then this says, like, oh, Dr. Storm takes everybody to the Baxter building. Like, how can you take them to the Baxter building if you're already there? Exactly, it makes any sense there.
Time loop. Wormhole. I don't know, but yeah, this movie just looks terrible. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But a movie I do want to talk about is Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
The Black Stormtrooper.
Yeah. Oh my God. Everyone. I swear, the freaking internet.
It's John. What's his last name?
Leguizamo.
No. Come on.
I know you're talking about. I don't remember what his
How
name was.
about the start of the trailer? We got our official third black guy in Star Wars. They're coming up in numbers now.
I just thought it was funny. Like, a lot of people were like, "What? These stormtroopers can't be black." And then, like, the actor, I forgot what his exact words were, but he essentially put on the shades
John
and said,
Boyega, that's
yeah. He essentially put on the shades and said, "Deal with it."
Yeah.
I wish he would have literally just like that would have been his response. It's a gif of him just putting on shades
Deal
slowly.
with it, femme.
A lot of people still think like the stormtroopers are clones. Like, no, that stopped a long time ago. By the time in the story, the stormtroopers, even by when the original trilogy started, they weren't clones anymore.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they have to recruit new members. And the thing is, too, like there isn't even context for that scene. It's like, is he maybe a good guy dressed up as a stormtrooper, a la Luke?
Yeah,
like,
it's not like it happened in the first movie.
We were just automatically, there's no way.
Hi, I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to save you. Like, really? Did that not happen like the first fucking 20 minutes of the movie?
It's just ridiculous.
Even in the new in the new Star Wars cartoon Rebels, there's a kid that went into the academy just to look for his sister. So he's not really part of the Empire. He's just pretending to be one of them. So it's the same thing. It's just like they're not all really there. Maybe it could be one of those undercover type situations.
I just feel it's like the typical like person who loves Star Wars but really knows not a whole lot about it. Like, you get those like diehards who are like, oh, well, the Timothy Zahn books, blah, 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 but they're no longer in continuity, so it's really disheartening to see that whatever is not going to happen in the main universe that Disney's decided to become canon.
Yeah.
But you have those guys. And then
Right.
you have like people like me who are just like, oh, yeah, I love the first three films. I don't really like, the new ones all that much, with the exception of episode 3.
Uh-huh.
But that's like the extent that I know. I know nothing other than that. I don't pretend to know nothing. I might have used to a long time ago and got all like blockheaded or whatever. But like, I don't really care. Star Wars isn't that big. Like, I'm more of a Lord of the Rings and Gundam type guy.
Yeah.
Like those are my lores. But Star Wars is like, I'm definitely gonna go see it. It looks like a lot of fun. Like, it looks great. But I'm not one of those hardcore nitpicky Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Barely even the Star Wars fans. And then there's those dudes that are like somewhere in the middle where they're just like griping about everything and they really don't seem to know a whole lot about Star Wars. They just get into the fandom, but they don't get into the meat and potatoes. They're just sipping all that sodium from the soup.
My favorite gripe is the new Tri lightsaber.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everyone's flipping out about it.
There's somebody, like, I like how the initial reaction, because it was me too, because I remember somebody saying, that lightsaber, and I was like, ooh, new lightsaber? So then I clicked and I was like, nice, Claymore style, I like it. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, I go into Tumblr, and there's literally, like, a dialogue going on back and forth, and how, like, this isn't practical because like how on a real sword, yes, somebody even came and like put a picture of an actual sword with a diagram of like all this like wow, and like this is the hilt, and this part that's referenced is called the cross
guard, I think.
Yeah, the cross guard, and I was like, okay, I guess it's the same as a hilt. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I didn't look that much into it, nor do I really care. But, yeah, I read it regardless, and I was like, okay, guy makes a salient point. Like, if they try to guard a lightsaber with that crosswalk, it's just going to slice it off.
Yeah, because the whole thing was that, it was still metal that was poking out, so it wouldn't actually do anything.
Finger points. But then someone else adds to the conversation. It's like, well, and this is the guys I was referring to before, in the whatever books, the drop knowledge, motherfucker,
To me, when you have people that are say, "Oh, it's not practical," this and this, it's like okay, you're definitely nitpicking because it's like going, you're watching a cartoon that that takes place underwater. Like, oh wait, they can't have fire; they're underwater. It's like, really,
right.
That's what you're picking at. You're bringing the logic
fire.
for a freaking cartoon, and then you come to Star Wars because lightsabers aren't real. Do you really care if it's practical or not in real life?
Well, okay, so this is where the book nerd comes back in. And so he goes, well, judging by the whatever history that was detailed in the whatever books, which I think he said is still canon.
Mm-hmm.
It was like there's a specific Star material with it's like adamantium basically in the Star Wars world. Where it's called like Christenzanium or some shit, Christanium, some weird. I don't know. Let's just say it's Star Wars vibranium, and it's such a well produced, dense, hard metal, whatever you want to call it. It's a resilient metal, and it stands up to lightsabers.
Yeah.
So a lightsaber can't actually cut through it, at least not like immediately. You know.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be able to like guard and deflect against it. So it's like, well, if they say that that's what it's made of, then any argument anybody has against it is invalid. But then some like Photoshoppers came out and they made, they changed it up and they were like, see, if they did this design, where it's diagonal and the crossguards are put like on the front and back, so they're still pointing sides, but they're not like on the side of the sword. They're on the front and back of the sword and pointing upward. So that it would actually, the lightsabers would look like they're crossing with each other, and they wouldn't actually hit the crossguard or the hilt part. It would just hit lightsaber, and it would actually trap another lightsaber, making it that much more effective. I was like, okay, I kind of like that idea a little bit better. But I don't know. It was just really crazy reading this. I was like, I like picked my glasses up off the bottom of my nose.
Well, actually,
I go, nerds! I love it. It was so good.
It is kind of. It's like on one hand it's really ridiculous, but on the other hand it's like I don't know. It's pretty fun because it's like that's how excited people are. Because, like, even though they're bitching, the fact that they care enough to even, like, well, actually, in the third book of the Timothy John trilogy, you know, it's like, you know, I don't know. It seems like, I mean, at least it wasn't like, oh, because I remember someone had, like, posted some comment on the trailer, and they're just like, not impressed, whatever. You know, like, at least it's like they're getting into it, whatever, you know. I even saw one where it's, like, things you didn't notice, and I guess for that little, like, droid that has the little like volleyball body is like going by. There's like a destroyed like pod in the back, like from the pod racing. Like, does that mean that pod racing is outlawed? Just like random shit like that. It was like, all right, I never would have picked that up or even noticed that was there. Mainly because I wiped that movie from my memory. But I don't know. So far, it looks pretty good. I don't know if you've seen the the re-edited trailer, and it's just like nothing but lens flare, and they're making fun of J.J. Abrams. Like everything that has a light has this bright ass lens flare. It looks hilarious. Like the part where the Millennium Falcon's like flying, and you just see this giant green lens flare in the back.
I would be surprised if that ends up in the final cut.
That's going to be in the re-release version. He's like, this is the movie I really wanted to make the entire time, but the critics wouldn't let me.
The lens flare edition.
I would not even doubt that would happen. But I don't know. It looks. I mean, obviously we're only getting a teaser, so it's hard to tell like what even is going to happen. The only thing that I thought was interesting is I thought after Empire Strikes or Return of the Jedi, I thought they had destroyed the entire like Imperial army, or did they just? Because I mean, they killed the Emperor, Vader's dead, the Death Star's dead. But I guess someone else just took the place. Because you still see the rebels, like they haven't like upgraded their uniforms, so I guess they're still fighting the Imperial army.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I like that the look and everything feels like it's continuing from the original trilogy instead of the new one.
Oh yeah. I like the look. I just was confused. I was like, I thought they beat these guys already. But
I guess they all died.
Yeah, I guess they only won that one battle, and the Imperial army is like, well, we still have a huge fleet. We actually didn't need that Death Star. It was not actually economical or practical, so you actually did us a favor. So I don't know, but I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it. I think it'll be good, especially considering the Star Trek movies that J.J. Abrams directed were really good, and were practically Star Wars movies anyways.
Yeah, to a degree, kind of.
Yeah, well, they have more like the action fantasy feel more so than like the science fiction-y feel. But I don't know. I think that he'll do them justice. So
yeah.
I feel like in like especially only in Star Wars and Star Trek is when all the nerds come out.
Oh yeah,
like, all the nerds come out like, well, this, and this, and this, and this, and they like start fighting. Like I remember saw like on a local channel here in Austin, there was like a a debate like which is better, like Star Wars versus Star Trek, like who has better guns, who has better ships. I was like, this is a bunch of nerds.
It's so like subjective to opinion, you know.
It really
what
is.
use are dilithium crystals in a world powered by hyperdrives?
Too true. Too true.
So yeah, I don't know. Those conversations to me are always fun.
Especially when you don't really have any part to take.
Yeah,
in.
yeah. You're just sitting there, just
sitting
like
there
When,
watching.
like, well, just speaking about like from us, and I'm assuming Chris as well. Like, we don't know a whole lot about Star Wars universe. Not as much as other people like dilithium. Like, we got that from like a Star Wars.
Yeah, it was from Mission Hill.
Yeah, Mission Hill. And so it's like, yeah, you hear these little like skits and stuff, and like, because you get where the reference is from, but you still have no idea. And you're nowhere near on par with their knowledge of the subject material, and just like, who thinks that deeply about the universe? And then I'm sitting there like talking about Gundam all intimately and like the driveware that they use. And I'm just like, I see now.
Oh,
I will say this one last thing about Star Wars. Dash Randar. Where's that
Randar,
movie?
yeah.
Where's the Shadows of the Empire movie? That's the movie I
You know
want to
who'd
see.
be the perfect Dash Randar?
Who? Chris Pratt?
WWS.
Oh, God, no.
World War Shia. Shia LaBeouf, dude, totally.
No way.
Especially if he had that badass beard. Oh, he'd be an awesome Dash Randar.
No way. You just ruined my childhood, sir.
I think he would be incredible.
Nah.
I thought you were going to say Eisenberg. My bad.
He would make a good Senator Palpatine.
If this was my laptop that was streaming from Luis, I would have deleted you.
You love me too
He would have
much.
blown you right out the airlock. But but apparently, they're moving forward with the trilogy. I don't know. I'm really excited to see Mark Hamill's involvement, just because I love Mark Hamill. Like, I don't care if he. I really hope it's only like a small cameo. But I just wanted to see him as like this really like aged, like bearded, badass looking Jedi.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I don't know,
But
doing the Joker voice. He's like on senile. Why did you come here, bats? I'm like, what are you talking about?
There are no bats here.
Yeah, right.
What's a bat?
So it's doing, I mean, space bat.
Oh, yes, of course. And he just turns and looks like he's a little crazy.
Yeah, right. Don't mind my grandpa. ever since his dad died and his hand got chopped off, he's been a little bit loopy. But he's still a good guy.
Did you guys notice if you take Ark from Mark and then Ham from Hamill put them together, it says Arkham?
Oh, yeah, I've
nice.
seen that, yeah.
Huh. So it was always his destiny.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was.
I saw one of those, and then there was like a triangle on Joker's forehead, Illuminati.
It was always meant to be.
Nice. Well, one thing that was not meant to be, Nova appearing in the Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. So at least as far as James Gunn says, there's no plans to have Nova in there.
Until we find out he's leaving Guardians.
Yeah, right.
I can't do this
so
anymore.
he says, because this is one of the situations where, like, obviously we don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but they're not going to say, oh, yeah, Nova's going to appear. And if it's true, they're going to wait till, like, a San Diego convention, like, not next year, but like the one after that to, like, fully announce it for real. Because they're not going to say anything now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I'd hope that he wouldn't just, like, flat out lie. I know a lot of directors do that. I'm J.J. Abrams. But I wish he would just be like, well, I have no comment on it. So for him to just kind of put it out there.
Like, no matter what you say, it's you're going to take it, whatever way fans are going to take it. See, even if it says no comment, he said no comment, but, that doesn't mean he's going to keep saying that all the time or whatever. But, I don't know. It's just one of those things you just got to wait and see. I'm not saying he's lying or he's telling the truth. It's just you have to wait and see until it comes out to find out, because no matter what they say, it could be, the other way around.
I think we need to have Jack Bauer question him. He'll find out the truth. Tell me, Gunn. Tell me what I want to know. I started rewatching, or I started trying to finish the Live Another Day. I think I have like 4 more episodes. So by this time next week, I'll have a recap of what I think of it. So, but I kind of also brought it up because Blue Stiff, semi-listener, but friend of the show. So, there's obviously the rumors about who Peter Quill's father is. So he's theorizing that it might be Starhawk, who I'm not familiar with. So I defer to you, Luis, because I'm assuming you know.
Well, here, the thing, before I get into that, because like the thing is I really want to know why he doesn't want to go the comic route. Because in the comic, if he goes the comic route, his father is a Jason, and it's funny how the way they do it. Because hey, it's space, so let's do it a funny way. Take out the A, just put an apostrophe.
Yeah.
And so it's just because Jason is the king of the Spartax
Empire
race and empire, making Star-Lord a prince. So I wonder. I'm right now more interested in like why doesn't he want to make him a prince or that, and like what other thing can they make him? Because there's people theorizing. I think it was Newsarama. I read a theory on where there's hints. We actually do have like some hints, not just from the movie, but things that James Gunn has said himself on who his father might be. And they're like, oh yeah, it's probably gonna end up being the Collector. And I'm like, really? That's your? I can sort of see that from the theories they came up with, but there's no way the Collector's going to be their father, because the way they go about it is the reason why they think it's somebody from already in the movie, because they don't want to make it somebody where only like comic fans would know it, and they don't want to alienate the public audience.
Yeah.
Which it makes sense, but I still think it's going to be somebody from the comic that we haven't seen, because that just really would make it more. I don't know. It's just better off that way than just because there's nobody in the movie already in the movie universe that would fit that bill. That would be his father.
Yeah,
some ancient alien race.
Yeah, because I've definitely heard the rumor that it might be the Collector, and that'll be okay. Except it just seems like it seems like it would be even more left field than if they actually did it the same route that's in the comics. Because didn't he meet the Collector?
Yeah.
And there's like no recognition. There's no like. I mean, because he almost blows his own son up. Like, if he cared that much, you'd think he would have at least acknowledged, like, oh, hey, I almost blew my son up. Sorry about that.
Right. Yeah. So, but as far as Starhawk goes, I don't know. That would be one of those kind of out of left field, because he was one of the he appeared in a Defenders comic, but that was like way back from the 70s. When he first appeared, and he was actually created by the same guy who created what's his name? Howard the Duck, Steve Gerber.
Oh.
Yeah, they both have like the same creator. But anyway, it's just like he was part of. He appeared in the Defenders as 70s. He had he was with the Avengers at some time, but it's one of those characters that has been like rarely used, and I don't, as far as I can remember, has not been used at all at least in the past 10 years, and at least not anything current or mainstream. So it's just one of those characters. I can sort of see that, but I'm pretty sure Gunn and Marvel they want to go with somebody, at least some who's more known, who's more recognized than Starhawk.
They should have his father be Vader and recreate that scene. Peter, I am your father.
He's gonna be like, no,
awesome.
He's like,
seriously?
No,
Come
that's
on.
impossible. No, Disney owns the rights for both properties. It's totally possible. And then all of a sudden, lens flare. No, it can't be.
There's a reason we avoided this part of the galaxy. It just recently became canon.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how big that's going to be in the sequel anyway, of who his father is. But...
Well, yeah, because according to Gunn, whether or not we see who his father is in the sequel, it's not going to be one of the major running points or plots of the sequel. So, I think they'll touch upon it in the second one, but it's not going to be something major that they're going to be going on throughout the whole film.
Maybe it'll be more about the father's origin than the actual father.
Yeah.
I want it to be about all the child support he owes him.
Sportnik or something like that.
He's half Sputnik. But I wonder, okay, so Gunn cited one of the reasons why he didn't want to do Nova, because they didn't want to have another, Earthling in space, I guess Richard Rider is a Nova. But all the people that are on, that Nova planet, aren't they humans, or are they
They're
just...
humanoid.
Yeah.
They look human, so what the fuck does it matter? Couldn't they just say that he's from that
That's exactly
planet?
what I was wondering. They have the same helmets already. Why not? I don't know.
Make him orange. Who
Here's the
cares?
thing, because I can understand not doing Richard Rider Nova.
Yeah.
But Richard Rider, as far as I can tell, was not like the first Nova. I mean, you have a whole Nova course for God's sake.
Yeah.
So it's like and even then, even if say in the comics Nova was the first, Nova, just for example's sake, that doesn't mean you have to do the same thing in the comics. Because obviously there are things that are changed around, and so that could have been one of the things too. You can have somebody else be, that's like saying, oh yeah. Or one of us like, we're not going to do Green Lantern because we don't want to have Hal Jordan or Kal Rayner in space, right? Because like they're not the first Green Lantern, so come on.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, even if Nova isn't a huge character, I just felt like they're on his planet. Like they should have at least been like, well, he's away doing whatever. Like I wish they would have at least been like a little nod to him at least existing. Like, I don't know. He's
like I said, I can understand not doing Richard Rider because he doesn't have a point. It was gonna be another Earthling. Okay, you want to make sure. Wait, how come that's somebody from Earth? How did nobody else know about him?
Yeah.
Or how does this not get anywhere else? That's understandable. Richard Rider, understandable, but Nova itself, you can have somebody else be Nova and still done Nova and have a cameo or something, or like you said, a mention, in a sentence or something.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It should have just been like Nova's out space fishing or something. He's hunting space whales. So, I don't know. But anyway, so speaking of movies, we got the fastest thing alive, targeting a PG-13 rating, Sonic the Hedgehog.
What?
What
movie?
What is this? What is this
I
nonsense?
just don't understand why are the guy who's writing the movie wants to make the Sonic movie PG-13. The only thing that I can think of that for it to be PG-13 is okay. They really want to amp up like some type of like fighting or violence or something. Because Sonic, there's no swearing. There's no kind of adult close to adultery kind of thing or whatever. So it's like, what are they trying to do to make it PG-13?
It's like they're gonna have like when they have the little it's rated PG-13 for excessive eating of chili dogs. I don't know. I think they're probably gonna have Shadow. Because Shadow's like the edgy Sonic.
Yeah,
I feel like that's probably why they're going
He's
for
like
PG-13.
their Dante.
Yeah, they're wannabe Dante. I swear. It's just like it just seems like the most cliche like boardroom things. Like, how can we make Sonic appeal to kids more? How about we give him guns? Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. Give him a gun because that's going to solve everyone's problem.
Because they already have the anti-hero with Knuckles. So why?
But now he's a good guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess because they made him good. But even so, I don't know. I would have been happy about a Sonic movie if I was still like 7, but it's like now it's like it's like Sonic. Like I don't know, everything after maybe Sonic and Knuckles. Like I just any Sonic off of the Genesis, I'll give a little bit of love to Sonic CD because I used to play that at like Mervin's. They had it set up.
Mervin's.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Going back old school.
Fucking going Woolworths and shit.
R.I.P. Montgomery Ward.
Montgomery Ward. Oh, wow. Showing our age much?
Yeah. But after that, it was kind of like, I don't know. To me, Sonic just never fit the current gen systems.
Yeah.
It just was always weird, so I don't know. I mean, I guess kids are still liking it. I would love to get excited for a Sonic movie, but I can't even imagine what they do. Unless, I don't know if you ever watched the cartoon. There were 2 different ones. There was a really shitty, like, cheesy one. Yeah, there was that one. But there was another, like, really anime-ish, like, one.
Oh, the Sonic the Hedgehog. You remember the song? Sonic.
Yeah, I think it was that one, yeah.
Sonic.
He's got an attitude, Sonic. He's the fastest thing alive. He's the fastest thing alive. But yeah, that one. If they did the movie like that, it was like a lot darker. I mean, it's still Sonic.
Yeah.
But it was fucking badass. Like, and even revisiting it now, because I think the Nostalgia Critic had did something on it. And looking at it, oh man, it looks really good still. Yeah. I was like, if they did it in that vein, which they're not going to, but if they did, it would be like, all right, this could be really cool. Because that was one of those series where it's like, it was getting really good, and they're like, oh, let's cancel it. Let's keep this other crappy one on.
Yeah.
But I remember, because that one used to come on in the morning, and the other one would come on, like, after school hours. And I just remember getting up early just so I could watch that show. I was like, I'd watch the other one just to, like, tide me over throughout the week. Like, well, I'll stomach this one until I get to the good one. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess, yeah, so good things can be done with Sonic, but I'm very doubtful that they will.
I know this latest game, Sonic Boom. It was promising when it was announced. Like it was made. The developer is Big Red Button. They used to work for Naughty Dog or Rockstar, and like it was like all right, maybe get a good Sonic game, a 3D Sonic game. Then they showed like the models of all the characters. And like, okay, we'll accept that, and they showed Knuckles and like his big upper body and his skinny legs. They're like making jokes like, "Don't skip leg day." Then the game like finally came out and it's just not good.
Yeah.
It was like rushed and there's like frame rate and just it's really not that great.
You know what would be interesting if they just like let Nintendo buy their property.
Yeah.
And let Nintendo make that game, because it's like it's still in like that golden age of like video games. I feel like Nintendo would probably be able to do something with it. Like they're still in touch with making games like that, whereas like Sega seems like they're trying too hard to update it.
Right.
Or maybe they should just make like Sonic just for the handhelds and just do it like the old school way or something like that. I don't know. But obviously, what they were doing now is not working.
Yeah. Now there's actually a glitch you can do with I think only Knuckles. Like if you're on the ground and you have to get somewhere up high, the way he jumps is like he'll be able to do a flip upside down and pause it, and he'll like redo his jump again. So you can just like keep doing that, and get higher and higher and higher, so you can like virtually get as high as you possibly can. It's a pretty funny glitch.
Huh. Yeah. It seems like that's probably like the funnest thing about the actual game is just exploit glitches.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, man. I don't know. It just sucks because Sonic was so innovative, because I just loved the whole thing when Sonic and Knuckles came out, and you just could stick the other cartridge in there and play through all the other games.
That was like the first DLC.
Yeah, right, yeah. That was DLC before downloading was even around. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll withhold judgment until they show a teaser trailer. Then everyone can be like, his quills actually couldn't poke out like that. But actually, if you read the comic book, which is in continuity, his quills are made out of sonic nadium, which makes them indestructible. So anyway. So going back to The Walking Dead, because I didn't realize I had this topic down here. But Robert Kirkman was talking about his biggest Walking Dead regret. No, it's not chopping off Rick's hand. He's referring to the show.
I was going to say that, too.
But no, it's actually really weird, because I thought it would have been, I don't know, so many different things, like making Andrea terrible, I don't know.
Killing off Dale early.
Yeah, killing off Dale too early. I don't know.
Not developing a well-rounded black character in T-Dog.
I think they should have just killed T-Dog sooner and just replaced him with somebody else. I don't know. T-Dog was always lame, in my opinion. I don't know, but I felt like Bob was cool. I felt like Bob was killed too soon. Like, of all the characters that they have now, like, I felt like he was one of the few. Actually, if any of you think about it, this season they killed the two most hopeful characters, because Bob was always the guy who was like, yeah, it's pretty shitty here, but it can always get better. And Beth was like that, too, and they're like, no, there's no hope here. Yeah. You both die.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, he said his biggest regret was the CDC episode. So he felt like it was really like, what? Really? That was a good episode, I thought. That was probably one of the better episodes of Season 1, besides, like, the first two. But he felt like he revealed the information about when you die. Well, actually, that's the thing, because it wasn't even revealed to the audience until the end of Season 2, but the whole thing was, like, where everybody's infected. So I guess he felt like he didn't want... Because I guess in the comics, they don't find that out until they're already in the prison. But, I mean, it happens, they're in the prison in, like, 3 more episodes, like, after that. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like a really weird thing. Of all the missteps the show's had, like, this is my biggest regret. It's putting a teaser that made audiences more interested.
I know. That's weird.
It's really weird.
Like, what would be a better time to do that, you know?
Yeah. And then he also, like, he felt like it was a mistake to, because there's the part where the CDC guy is like, well, in France, they're developing a cure. They're close to a cure. And I guess it's been mentioned other times in the series. But, yeah, and so he said, like, that was a mistake. He's like, well, I don't want people to know what's going on in the rest of the world. So, but that was a really interesting aspect. If anything, I feel like we should know more about how the rest of the world's dealing with it. So I don't know.
And the spinoff now.
Well, see, and that was the thing, too. I think that was the real reason why I said that. He's like, because that's going to be addressed in the spinoff, so it kind of put that in there a little bit too early. It's just like, oh, so that's the real reason. It's not for storytelling reasons.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know.
He did also give some. Well, I can't think of the word, but about Daryl, he actually gave a definitive answer about sexuality on Talking Dead last night.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's the rumors about Daryl maybe being gay, and there's like, no, he's not gay. So
he's straight.
Those of you that have been holding out for it.
He did
All
say
those
that
shippers out there.
Yeah, he did say that. I think it was in the second half when they come back. One of the gay characters from the comics will be coming onto the show.
No, he'll be coming on the show, all right. I was gonna say, now that Daryl isn't gay, it's like there goes my Daryl Dixon fanfic, son. It sounded better in my head.
He did also mention that the guys may or may not finally leave the Atlanta area.
That'd be interesting because I mean, when the show first started, it made it seem like state-to-state travel was very difficult and almost impossible. And then they bring in Eugene and all them, like, yeah, we came from Texas. It's like, wait, first of all, if it was any other state, it would be all right. But we discussed, especially on the last podcast, it takes a lifetime to leave Texas.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Like, in society now, where things are not broken down, let alone where you maybe might be able to find a vehicle that's not, destroyed.
It's 9 hours from Austin to Amarillo.
Yeah.
That's crossing, like, from Louisiana all the way to almost Georgia.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking amount of time.
Granted, I think they came from Houston, so maybe that's why, because they're closer to the border. They don't have as far to go to get out of Texas, now that I think about it. But even so, like, to me, yeah, because when they first go to Atlanta, and it's, like, crawling with zombies, which is why I thought was really funny with the hospital episodes. Like, it seems like all those zombies are gone now, because it used to be, like, you don't even go into Atlanta unless you want to die. But, yeah, like, I never would have even imagined, like, interstate travel. It's like, nope, you're pretty much going to live in the wilderness from now on. But, yeah, it would be interesting to see if they went somewhere else. Because they're supposed to be going to where that kid is, wherever he's from. The kid from Everyone Loves Chris. So they're like, he wants to go home.
Noah?
Yeah, Noah. But I don't remember where they said he was from.
I think he did say it once, but I forget where it was.
Yeah, same here.
Miami, probably.
Let's go with Miami.
I want to say Virginia, but that might be wrong.
We'll say
he came from even like further.
Yeah,
Alaska. It's too cold for zombies. See, I really wonder with states like South Dakota, like if because that would actually, even though it sounds like a really boring state, of all the places, I'd like to see how they handle it. Because South Dakota is one of the least populated states for the size that it is, so you would have very sparsely populated like cities and towns. So either everybody would die, or it'd be like, yeah, well, we survived the first wave. There's not even anything living, for miles. This is actually not that bad. It's just another day in South Dakota. So, I don't know, but I would really like to see other states and how other places deal with it. So Kirkman, get on it. And I don't want to have to watch a spinoff for that. Speaking of which, they still haven't revealed much, if anything, about the spinoff. It's just kind of like, we're doing one. It's probably going to be like the Telltale game, just like 2 days later. By the way, season premiere in a week. Get ready. It's coming. It's right there. So anyway, speaking of other good shows, Constantine. So apparently they are going to stop production after 13 episodes. So they haven't officially said that it's going to be canceled, but apparently that's kind of like a preliminary thing that they do before they cancel shows. Which sucks. I've only seen the pilot of Constantine, but it looks really good. And I think it would be really unfortunate if they do cancel it prematurely. Like, I think at the very least they should let it play out this season, maybe give it a season 2, and then, see how it goes.
They should have put it like on a Monday or Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also the fact that it's on NBC is still weird to me. It seems so perfect for an AMC or an FX.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I don't know, the type of, like, network television having, like, this occult demon show. I mean, granted, I think Hannibal was on, like, ABC or something. Yeah. But even so...
NBC as well.
Yeah, okay. So I guess NBC's is getting darker now, I guess. It's like everything
but
was
it doesn't make sense to put it on a Friday.
Yeah.
Because it comes on after what show?
Dancing with the Stars. No, I don't know.
No, it's another
I have no idea.
Dancing Without the Stars.
I'm not watching TV Fridays at 9
It's
o'clock.
another, like, kind of comic-y show, but I forget. Like, it's a strong rated show, but the show ends, like, at 8. And then from 8 to 9, I guess, is when Constantine comes on. But it's like...
Constantine's on at 10 p.m.
So it's 9 here. So it's 9 to 10 here.
Yeah.
And that's usually about. I mean, if you're trying to attract target audiences 18 to 35, chances are on a fucking Friday night they've made plans to do other things. Like go see new movies, go out with friends, get out of the fucking house, or play the latest video game. Fuck.
That's exactly what I said.
Assassin's Creed just came out. Dragon Age Inquisition just came out. Black Friday just fucking happened.
It just came out.
I was like, what
Black
the fuck
Friday,
do you
the video
expect out of the ratings for this last couple of weeks? You have it air in the fall, which is like probably one of the hardest times for any show that doesn't come out on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday to fucking perform, you know?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was also on a Friday. That's terrible. That's like a show killer.
I mean, they call Fridays like the grave night, the graveyard
just
for TV shows because it's like that's just one step closer to getting canceled because nobody really watches primetime TV on Fridays. Not since, to my recollection, like TGIF.
Yeah, that was probably the last time where that was really prominent.
I think when people watch TV on Friday night, it's already Saturday. And they're like pissed drunk, watching like Fresh Prince reruns on Nick at Night.
Yeah, yo, I'll smell you later.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just saying. You know, when I did the comic bubble last Friday, is since like the X-Files was airing in the 90s, since where people watching things on Friday. These days, if a show is on at 9, 10 o'clock Fridays. It's like the death slot for the show.
Oh
It's the quote unquote excuse. Networks do. They put it out. We want to cancel a show, but the ratings are still kind of. You know what? Let's put it on a Friday. Oh no! The ratings are terrible. Oh, canceled.
Yeah, they're pretty much studying up for because the reason why Grimm works, it comes on 8 to 9, probably 9 to 10 on the East Coast.
That's what it is. Yeah, 9 to 10. That's what it is. Yeah, NBC.
But for at least in Central Time, 8 to 9. That's like the perfect time for somebody to be watching Grimm while they're getting ready to go out. Because like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you're pretty much out the door doing whatever. Or if your parents like me, you're putting the kids away and then you're getting ready to fire on some Netflix with the loved one.
Yeah.
Or you probably just DVR'd Grimm to watch it tomorrow. I mean, not Grimm, Constantine. To watch it tomorrow. Meanwhile, you've already got your Grimm fix, and then it's time for the kids to go to bed.
Yep.
Well.
Yeah, because I think the creator or someone was still saying they still have a chance to get renewed because they're still going to let it go out the original 13-episode treatment that NBC greenlit the show for. They're just not going to give them the full season order. So yeah, but halting it at 13 is definitely not a good sign, but. It's not the show's fault. It's just the day and time they're airing it. It's not it's not like Hannibal. Hannibal is one of those miracles because all the following it's been having since Silence of the Lambs. So
yeah.
It doesn't not saying that Constantine hasn't been popular since the creation, but obviously Hannibal has more of a following. And more people want to see that than Constantine. So.
Yeah, Hannibal has much more of a mainstream appeal, whereas Constantine's like hardcore comic fans and people who like the movie. But it also is not helping Constantine that 13 is also an unlucky number. So I don't know. I feel like the future of Constantine is very grim.
That is true because airports literally they will not have a section 13. So
a lot of buildings won't even have a 13th floor.
Exactly. They go from 12 to 14.
They should just do that with episodes. Everyone's looking for the 13th episode. And they should even do it where the 14th episode picks off where the 13th episode would have been. And it's just like you just never see it. It's like previously on this episode that never happened. But
or just do what a lot of people do, or give an episode like a special 2-hour thing, and they bill it as one episode, but it's really like episodes 12 and 13 or whatever.
That'd be funny to go about it that way.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I think because there's some characters popping up from the comics that I'm really looking forward to that will be coming near the end of the near the end of the season now, because you have Felix Faust, who's one of the villains that Wonder Woman has tussled with. You got Dr. 13 himself that's going to be appearing, and then we were supposed to get the Spectre actually appear as the Spectre on on the season. But I don't know if that's going to happen now because I believe they were planning that towards like, the back half of the season if they got greenlit, but now they're not. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely would be disappointing if that show doesn't continue because it's really good, and especially for a character like Constantine that's pretty much been butchered in the movies, and for them to actually have like a really good version of him, like he's probably one of the best like comic to film translations, and to get it so right, just to be like, well, we're gonna put it on a Friday and cancel this shit, that would be really disappointing. But hopefully either it will survive on NBC or maybe another station will pick it up, which is actually, I think, might actually be better, in the long run. Well, if they can get the budget, because I know that has happened with, like, Southland. It's like, well, it sucks now because we have no budget, so thanks, guys.
Yeah.
But it did get picked up by TNT.
AMC should definitely pick it up at least.
They should just put it on Netflix, and then I won't even have to turn on the cable box that I don't have. Direct to Netflix. But anyway, speaking of things that that are fighting for survival, Mickey Rourke has fought in a boxing match, or should I say, quote unquote boxing. So he's like 60,000 years old now, and supposedly fought some 29-year-old boxer.
I called bullshit. I just want to let you know. I called bullshit when it happened.
It was funny because when I first heard it, I was like, okay, this seems very odd, but whatever. And I just kept hearing people saying, like, it's a work, it looks really fake, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it can't look that bad. And then I actually watched the fight, and I was like,
it's awful.
It looks so bad.
Anybody who watches even the mildest amount of boxing could tell that was... At least, would be like, this seems highly suspicious. But, like, even people, like, there's one dude on my Facebook who does, like, the faux fighting stuff. Uh-huh. And then there was another dude who we gave a ride to, and he was talking about how he does, like, all these weird martial arts.
Oh, the guy who lives in the old Honda building?
Yeah, he lives in the old Honda building, supposedly. And then he said, like... Back in the day, I knew the dude had hands. I knew he could handle himself. And I was just like, okay. I watched the video. I was like, really? Really? The dude can handle himself? The dude threw, like, the softest windmill blow. And the guy just falls over and stays there.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is either seriously out of shape... or he's throwing the fucking match.
It just looked like one of those phantom punches because it didn't even look like it connected.
Yeah.
Because like at first it was kind of inspiring when you read the story where it's like, he had stopped his boxing career to start acting. He had dropped like 30 pounds for this fight. Supposedly he was in a really dark place. Boxing helped bring him back. So I was like, okay, this is a really cool inspirational tale. And then there was something else because apparently like. The reason why his face looks that way, I guess they're from injuries from boxing, so he had a lot of plastic surgery, which I didn't know that's what the case was. I thought that's just what his face looked like. But apparently he actually, like, which is kind of crazy when you think about, like, boxers that have had really long careers, and their faces, for the most part, look fine, but I don't know. It was just interesting. But, yeah, so you hear all this stuff, then you see the fight, and you're like, it's cool that it inspired you, but it is clearly thrown. And then all these other stories come out that the guy who fought was supposedly some homeless guy that was just, like, homeless and desolate, and they're just like, yeah, we're going to pay you money to lose to Mickey Rourke. It's like, yeah, okay, that works.
Well, it turns out the guy's been homeless for, like, the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's, and his family's saying that he might have serious mental health issues.
And
that they're afraid that he's being taken advantage of in this whole situation.
That I also would not doubt.
Mickey Rourke?
No, the guy... well, Mickey Rourke probably does have some serious brain damage, but no, the guy that they got to fight, they worked out at Freddie Roach's Hollywood gym together. That's where they found the guy initially.
Yeah.
But he's been homeless after he had a fallout with his mom about his future career, and I guess his health has degraded since then. I mean, obviously, like, when people train for a fight, it takes, like, 3 to 4 months, maybe even longer of training, especially for, like, a big fight. And this dude was homeless for 6 of those months.
Yeah.
How long was he training for?
Well, maybe he was training
before
at the
the
School of Hard
fight
Knocks.
started. It just seemed like they just kind of threw him out there, threw him out to the wolves.
To be fair, though, I wouldn't really say wolves since he's fighting Mickey Rourke. Maybe like threw him out to like the baby seals,
to the puppies.
So it makes me wonder because at least if they paid him a good amount of money, it might be like a good story where it's like, hey, he was homeless. he fought a shit boxing match, but now he can take care of himself.
Right.
You know, like, I don't know if that's part of the narrative. I didn't actually read the article. But at least that would be like, okay, Mickey Rourke feels better about himself. Homeless man can now take care of himself. Like, that would be cool. But if they also stiffed him on the money, that would be really fucked up. We're just like, get back to your box. It's just like, what? But I'm a boxer now. But it was kind of, I don't know, it was even suspect with the guy that he had beat, because it was like, his record was like 1-9.
1-9. He
Yeah.
hasn't won a fight since 2009.
Yeah.
2009, and they're just like, oh yeah, he beat up a 29-year-old. I was like, well, yeah, you and 8 other guys out of his 10 professional fights.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And not to mention the guy probably hasn't trained efficiently enough for this fight. Not that he has to, but I mean, come on. At least give the guy 6 weeks of like really hard training. And then he's been homeless for 6 months. So like, where has he been living? Who's taking care of his food, his expenses? Who's covering his fucking training bills?
Mm-hmm.
You know, is it Mickey Rourke? Probably not. You know, and then before that, you know, the guy was already having money woes. You know, he had to move back in with his mom. They got into a whole fight, and obviously his career wasn't that good since 2009.
Yeah.
After his first win ever, and he hasn't seen a win since then. It's just like, how do you essentially brag about beating a can? He beat a fucking can.
Hey, but he's 62. Hey, a win's a win. It doesn't matter if you win.
A win.
It doesn't matter if you win by a year or a minute.
Yeah.
Winning is winning. I don't know. Maybe this is really just like hype. Like maybe this is just a publicity stunt for Mickey Rourke, who's gonna have like a movie, The Boxer.
See, and I was thinking something along those lines.
Fast Hands Freddy.
Maybe we don't know that this is footage. I mean, obviously it wasn't like a title fight. It was a fucking
exhibition.
It was an exhibition match.
I think it was only like one round. Well, I guess because he got
well,
TKO.
According
quote
to
unquote.
family sources, a friend of the guy said that the promoters wanted him to go down in the 4th, and he ended up going down in the 2nd instead.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, so did he get stiff for the money? Sorry, kid, you didn't fight the whole 3 minutes.
Yeah, right.
And then Uncle died.
We'll only give you half the money.
Shit.
Like, now you owe us. Now is the one place he doesn't want to be. He's in Brick Talk pockets.
$3,000 for 3 minutes. Yeah, totally.
Right, so then his uncle ended up dying. Now he's a superhero and all that. Is that what happened?
With great power comes great fixing of boxing matches. Oh, man. I don't know. We can only hope that Mickey Rourke continues his boxing career. That's
but
what I want
that
for
guy
him.
actually, you say that if he having mental issues, actually reminded me. I saw it was trending yesterday on Facebook. Apparently, the guy who played Darth Vader, you know, not the voice, but the actual guy who was in the suit, actually has dementia now.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and he actually, I guess it must be like early onset or something, because apparently he's the one that released the statement himself. So if he actually was able to do that, that means, you know, it's not full on there yet, but it's still, he has a little bit of, you know, of memory that he can retain.
Yeah, it's really tragic, I think, when anyone gets dementia. I don't know, I was listening to NPR, and they're talking about, it was really sad. It was talking about, like, these 2 girls and their mom had gotten dementia. And it was like, I don't know if it, like, what kind it was, but there was, like, some gene where it's like, you have this, you're pretty much guaranteed to have it. So they were, like, freaking out, like, okay, well, it's hereditary, so we might have it too. So one of them goes and gets tested, and then she's like, oh, I'm clear, you know, I'm not going to get it, this is great. The other one gets tested, is like, well, I have it. And it was just like, well, I don't know. It just, like, was, like, really heartbreaking, because especially with those stories, you don't know where they're going, and they don't necessarily always have a happy ending. So it was just like, wow, now I'm really bummed out now. But she, like, I don't know, they kind of took it in stride. She's like, well, at least now I can take care of both of them. Like, at least it's better than all 3 of them having it, I guess. But still, it was just like, it would just suck to know that that's, like, what your future entails. But she was kind of like, well, now I can just live it up, you know. Now it's like, what do you really have to worry about, you know? Just go and live to the fullest. And I guess if you played Vader, you probably did live to the fullest. Unless, of course, you had a tri-saber that cut off your hand.
I don't know if you're reading. We finally got some comments for that. It's a first in a while to go that long with the comments.
Yeah, we got Carrie Figs in the chat.
Carrie Figs.
Carrie goes, God damn, Mickey Rourke. I just saw a clip of that guy getting knocked down. Wow. That was.
It was horrible. Oh, man. He just looks really funny, too. Like, if you watch the clip, like, just the way his body looks. And granted, he's 62, but even so. I bet you anything he was on TRT. That's going to come out. That's my prediction. But anyway, speaking of people that are washed up, Jean-Claude Van Damme returning to Kickboxer. He's like, hey, if Mickey Rourke can do it, I can do it, but for fake. So
yeah, he needs something to do after that whole, hey, look at me, I can do a split while trucks are moving stuff.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, man. So apparently Batista's going to be in it, so... You know, once upon a time, that would have been like, Batista. But after Guardians, it's like, all right, I can get down with that. And then some other person who I don't know, Alan Moosey or something, someone from Days of Future Past, who I should know since I saw that movie. So we'll now Google him live as the podcast goes on. I still don't even see who this guy is.
And this is the guy playing Apocalypse?
No, some other guy. I guess he just did the stunts, because I don't even see anything for him. Actor.
It's like, what's his name? Darth Maul?
Oh. Ray Park is an actor, sir. He has not only played Darth Maul, he has played Toad. He has played the Headless Horseman. Someone knocking on my door?
I don't know, I'll go check.
All right.
Oh, as soon as you say Headless Horseman, knock, knock, knock.
Yeah, right. Why does Mickey have a haircut of a 24-year-old? Like, seriously? Jean-Claude Van Damme is the greatest, says Carrie Figs. But anyway, so, so GSP, who was Batroc the Leaper in Winter Soldier, he's apparently also going to be in it. And, I don't know. I mean, I saw Kickboxer way back when, but...
I saw like once or twice, but it's been a very, very long time.
Well, it came out in 1989, so it's been quite a while since this movie came out. But either way, I don't know. I mean, it's yet again another remake, sequel, whatever it is that never needed to be made. What the fuck? Hold on.
I got it.
Okay, you got it. Okay, sorry. Someone's rapping at my chamber door, and I don't know who it is, but it might be the Raven. So I'm guessing Jean-Claude Van Damme's probably going to maybe be like a mentor to like the new Kickboxer. I'm pretty sure he's not actually going to be the main star. I mean, that would be...
he's taking on a new role in the remake.
Yeah.
So is this going to be like the Karate Kid all over again?
Right.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, actually. This Jaden Smith is going to show up. Hey, guys! My dad got me this part in this movie, so if you don't mind... Oh, it's apparently
what if
Tony...
water wasn't a necessity, but we still needed it? I think it's the dude, like, messing with his washer-dryer thing.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's, like, right there.
Oh, okay.
Where your front entrance is.
Huh. So Tony Jaa's rumored to be in this movie.
At least it's not his back entrance.
Kickboxer. Oh, yeah. Which, once upon a time, that would have made me... I'm actually more excited about Batista being in a movie than Tony Jaa. Shows you how far Tony Jaa's like star has fallen. But I'm excited about GSP. I thought he did really good in Captain America. I think as long as he doesn't talk much and just kicks people. And I think especially for a movie like Kickboxer, that's about as good as it's going to get. Having him do action scenes with his athleticism. So anyway, yeah. So Jean-Claude Van Damme coming back. So, yeah, I know you're excited. I can see it in your face. So Nintendo in the news again. So it's not official, but they have patented that they'll be having a Game Boy emulation.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're gonna be having a Game Boy. Yeah, they're gonna be having a Rainbow Game Boy for different communities. But so for use for mobile devices, which is interesting because I could have sworn we had talked about this on a Save All Corrupted about them not wanting to do that. So it's kind of interesting that obviously
a while back, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, trends change. People say things they don't mean.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch are actually con.
When they're a crossover.
So I don't know. It's interesting because on one hand, it would definitely give them a lot more exposure. Because if they're on mobile devices, their games are going to sell like crazy.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Nintendo's been very good about having no other system but Nintendo have their games. So I don't know. It's a really big gamble for them because that's the whole reason. Like you want to play Mario, you have to get a Nintendo system, regardless of which one you get. You have to get one. So it's going to definitely, and I don't know. It's going to kind of cannibalize their sales in that department.
people still find ways to play Nintendo games like through emulation.
Yeah,
like on PC, like no matter what it is, like all the old school NES games or SNES. Like people will find a way to hack or any way to play any old any game really.
That is true. So I guess in that regard, they might be like, well, people are going to emulate our games anyway. They already are. Apparently, it's not that difficult, especially for the old school games. I mean, you can play some of these games on like Microsoft Excel, which is insane.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that you could play anything on Excel, but you can. but yeah. So maybe they're like, hey, we might as well make some money off of this, and at least have it in its official format, in the best quality that you can get, instead of, like I said, playing it on fucking Microsoft Excel. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they actually go through with it. I mean, right now they might still just be in talks, and maybe this is just preliminary. And they're like, well, we'll see if this number is bigger than this number, and see what that Mario guy says, and see if we really want to go through with this. But I don't know. It definitely would be interesting, especially if they have more of the, I guess, more recent games, because I'm assuming this would probably be like the 8-bit, 16-bit era that would be on mobile devices.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Because
It'd be nice to get some Super Mario World on my cell phone.
Yeah, I'm wondering how that would play though, because like most mobile games are made specifically where you just kind of wave your finger around to do stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the controls, even as basic as the controls are for like a Game Boy, they're still a lot more advanced than you have nothing but a touchscreen. So it'll be interesting to see how they emulate those.
Yeah, I know there's an emulation of. There's like an emulation of Resident Evil 4 on the iTunes store or whatever.
Huh.
It's all like all 3D, but like all graphics aren't like as good as like the actual console. But
yeah,
it was still like pretty good for like a handheld or on the phone. And all the controls were like on the screen, like on the sides.
Okay, I see.
Actually, like still had the same feel as they're actually playing the actual game. Still kind of had like that. Like horror type sense, or like action sense. It's like it still felt like you're playing Resident Evil 4.
Okay, and that's interesting because I can see that opening up, huge avenues, especially for Resident Evil 4, which is not next gen, but it's still like in like the more modern age of games,
right?
And I can see them giving that treatment to a lot of other games, at least something maybe like maybe like the original like Metal Gear Solid or even Metal Gear Solid 2, like stuff around that era, like maybe like the PS2 era, So yeah, it would be interesting to see because I know definitely if Nintendo does it, everyone's going to be like, oh, we got to do it too. Yeah. So it could definitely be a good thing. Except it'll be a bad thing for battery life. Your battery life is going to suffer, but as far as entertainment on phones go, that's definitely a good thing. So on the subject of reboots, Reboot is being rebooted as Reboot, The Guardian Code. So apparently they've been talking about bringing it back for a while. They're apparently going to do, I think in 2008 they were going to do a film trilogy, but it didn't happen. And now they're like, yeah, we're doing it. We're going to do it live. It's coming back. So from the Mainframe website, they said the re-imaging of Reboot series comes just in time for the 20th anniversary of the original series. Making its debut on television and screens in 1994, Reboot was centered on the world of Mainframe, where a Guardian program sprite and his friends defended the system from superviruses bent on creating havoc and destruction. Now, 20 years later, after the original series aired, Mainframe is teaming with writers, artists, and lead computer industry experts and manufacturers to create all-new Reboot universe that provided a groundbreaking multi-platform experience for the next generation of Reboot fans.
See, unless that's starting in the next couple of weeks, it's not going to be in time for the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe they've been working on it in secret. I don't know. I kind of have two main things. One, I hope the graphics are better.
See, I enjoyed the graphics for the show back then, though.
I enjoyed them back then. Now it's like, I would love to watch it, but they hurt my eyes very much. But I don't know. I think it'll be good. I wonder if they're going to have, like, Anonymous will be, like, the main villain or something. Like, they have to stop him from hacking. Like, I just see, like, a lot of tie-ins or something. Like, Norton Antivirus will be the hero sidekick or something. Norton, we have to update.
They'll have, like, Doom come in from Fantastic Four.
Yeah, right, yeah. They have a Fantastic Four tie-in. Doom is trying to hack the mainframe, all because Richards has powers and he doesn't. But I don't know. I can definitely see a lot of pop culture references. But, I don't know, it was such a good show back then. It would be interesting to see if they can recapture the magic.
Yeah.
So I wish they at least had some sort of like pending release date, but obviously, as we know, these things go. Probably see it in like 2 years or so.
Especially if it's going to be computer animated, then it's going to take it's still going to take its time to when they do the whole thing. I'm sure that takes longer than if they did it straight, like to the animation.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll go the South Park route and they'll just have it animated really crudely, and they can do it in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Well, they don't do it like that anymore, so
I don't know. We'll find out, but I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
I know. Amuru, how do you feel about Reboot coming back?
I never really liked the show to begin with.
So you're excited for it then?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that great.
Do you not have a soul or something? When
soul
you were a
is in
kid, did you
Gundam,
actually
sir.
play with toys, or were you already like, sorry, Mommy and Daddy, I have to go take my accounting class because I'm an adult now?
First of all, I hate numbers.
But the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Is that why you hated Reboot then? Because Reboot was computers and computers like ones and zeros?
When Reboot was a thing, I was reading Naruto fan fiction. That's what it was.
Back then.
Now I see what the problem is. Naruto. Okay, that explains you
not a
everything.
problem.
Okay,
It's a
I got it.
lifestyle.
Was Naruto even around back then?
I don't know.
Don't
Was
think
it?
so.
I'm sure they weren't. Maybe DBZ or Sailor Moon.
There you go. Sailor Moon fan fiction.
There you go. Some slash fiction.
Yeah.
So, we have one final topic. World War Shia. So I didn't actually read this entire interview, and not because of my typical just not reading the articles before the show. It's actually really long, and if you actually even semi give a crap about Shia LaBeouf, it's actually interesting. I've read a good chunk of it, but it's him just kind of going through like all the crazy shit he's been doing, and him like giving like pretty candid answers to everything. And him just talking about his breakdown. So obviously, he kept claiming, I'm performance acting, I'm method acting, all this other crap. It's like, and he finally was just like, yeah, well, it was actually just really just like messed up over people finding out that I plagiarized that thing, and it just kind of caused this whole snowball effect. And, article link. Yes.
Well, you should never plagiarize in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Let that be a lesson, Mr. LaBeouf. Unless you plagiarized your name, too. But, yeah, so it's pretty interesting. The thing that's really bizarre is he claims that, like, so basically what he did, I guess this was also performance art, where he's doing the I'm not famous anymore, and he had people go up and be able to talk to him. And he was talking about how it was actually, like, really touching. Like, a lot of people really empathized with him, and he's just like, it was the most kindness I've ever had in my entire life. But then on top of that, he was like, well, then other people had an agenda, and they just kept fucking with him.
That was the most kindness thing in his life. So what, was working for the Disney Channel, like, some stories from hell then?
You know, probably. They probably beat those kids. You see how most Disney stars end up turning out, so I'm sure it probably was pretty miserable. So I don't know. That's how we got the current incarnation of Miley Cyrus. Or was she Nickelodeon?
No, she was Disney.
She was Disney.
Oh, there you go.
Hanging Montana.
Case in point, sir. Case in point. But then he was saying, like, and then people just came up there, took off his bag, and just took a selfie and left. He was just like, that was really disheartening, because that's not what this was about. and then he claimed that some chick, like, had sex with him. He was just like, it was like,
that he got raped?
Yeah, he said he was raped. He said, like, she undressed him, had sex with him, and, like, supposedly her boyfriend was, like, standing outside. And he was like, it wasn't really bad for me necessarily, but I think she did some really good, some really major damage to her relationship. And I feel really bad about that. And of course, today
it wasn't bad for him. Does that still count as rape? Because they say, I'm just gonna let this go on.
Well, that's the thing too, because
I don't know. It's just the way his quote sounds doesn't sound like he was raped then.
Well, technically, as far as him not consenting, but as far as him like feeling like, because he doesn't seem like he really gave a shit. I mean, he said like literally from his quote, he seemed more like, she really messed up. This is her bad. But then he also did mention, like, it was supposedly, like, his anniversary with his girlfriend. Which you would think, like, you would be like, all right, hey, I can't do this. Like, you know, I mean, I get his whole thing is he's supposed to just sit there. But I don't know. Shia LaBeouf's weird. That's all I can say about that.
He's weird.
I can't even try and justify it. Like, I don't even know how to explain. Like,
there's no way to reason this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was okay, this is what it was. I found the quote. Is this one woman who came with her boyfriend who was outside the door when this happened, whipped my legs for 10 minutes, and then stripped my clothing and proceeded to rape me. There were hundreds of people in line when she walked out with the disheveled hair and smudged lipstick. It was no good, not just for me, but for her man as well. On top of that, my girl was in line to see me because it was Valentine's Day, and I was living in the gallery for the duration of the event. We were separated for 5 days, no communication, so it really hurt her as well as I guess the news traveled of it through the line until she came in and asked for the explanation. I couldn't speak, so we sat with this unexplained trauma silently. It was painful.
How do we know that this wasn't, his method of acting for Nymphomaniac 2 or something?
It might be. Well, technically Nymphomaniac is a 2-part movie, so it might be for Nymphomaniac 3.
Judging by everything he's been through this last couple of years, I mean, he just seems very emotionally damaged.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like he's just piling on more.
It really does see that, because you would think at some point he'd be like, all right, you have abused this segment, you have to get out of here.
Yeah.
You know? On one hand, I can respect his commitment to what he's trying to do, because it seems like in the same vein, if someone just like punched him in the face, he would have been completely okay with that. He would have been okay in the sense that he wouldn't have done anything about it, but he would have been like, well, I was really hurt when this guy punched me really hard because it hurt, but for the sake of art, I went through with it. But apparently he also, with the whole thing for the Fury movie, because they had asked him about him giving himself a scar, and he confirmed that was true, and he also said he took one of his teeth out. And also didn't shower for many months.
Wow.
There's a thing called makeup.
Well, the scar wasn't real enough. You gotta get real in this theater.
That just reminds me of Jamie Foxx, and there was a story where like he literally put a gap into his teeth, like he forced for his role in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Because you can't just put like those fake teeth on. You gotta really put the gap yourself in.
Yeah, because everyone fucking cared.
That was the whole thing. Like, at least with Shia LaBeouf, I'll give him credit where it's like
I watched that movie like 3 weeks ago. I never fucking noticed.
I noticed, but it's like for a movie that's that bad, like you're gonna mess up your teeth for that.
Yeah.
Like at least for Fury, like I haven't seen it, but I've heard really good things. It's supposedly a really good, really moving movie. I can see someone getting caught up like, I want to take this the whole 9 yards, want this to be like my best performance. Okay, I get that. It's still weird, but I get that. For fucking Spider-Man 2, like, and his performance was terrible. It's not like that helped him get into character more, and you saw like, oh, this is a really standout performance from Jamie Foxx. Like he did better in fucking Horrible Bosses.
Yeah.
With no gap in his teeth.
Well, he's a natural comedian.
Yeah.
I'm not to say he's like a bad actor.
Even though his acting's a joke. No, I'd say he was good in Collateral. I will give him that.
Yeah, he was great in that movie. It just wasn't the movie for him.
It just wasn't.
It just seemed like that Robert Redford kind of rhetoric, where it's just like, well, it's a kids movie.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of how he came at it. As. And it's like, well, no, I mean, people. Did you see the last few? Like people die.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a kids movie, but the sophistication of the writing definitely was on that level. With the Green Goblin, right. You didn't give me your blood, Spider-Man. Now I hate you.
That is so weird because like they completely ignore him after that. And all of a sudden he's just suddenly the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
It's like, when did this happen? I'm so confused.
Honestly, probably the best villain in there was the Rhino, because at least he was
Paul Giamatti.
Just simply because at least he had the motivation of he wanted to get rich and steal shit, so he stole shit with a Rhino suit. Yeah. Like at least his motivation made sense.
Crazy like Romanian guy or Russian dude, whatever he was supposed to be.
Yeah, but at least it made sense. With Jamie Foxx, there was no reason for him to hate Spider-Man. With Green Goblin, there was no reason to hate Spider-Man. Yeah. With the Rhino, he didn't hate him; he was just in his way.
Yeah,
you know, when that's your best villain, you have a pretty shitty movie. Yeah. You know, it was just like, come on.
Fuck you, Spider-Man! I kill you!
I'm going to talk shit and leave my face exposed.
You give me my rubles back. Come on, man.
Spider-Man, you drink all of my vodka. You give it back now.
You punch me in public.
Oh, man. Amazing Spider-Man 2. He was excited for the sequel. Amazing Spider-Man 3. It's probably going to have like 5 villains. They're not going to learn their lesson at all. As you know, it's going to have 6 villains because it'll be Sinister 6.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That franchise is... I really hope Disney just gets the rights back. And I don't even care that much about seeing another Spider-Man movie, but just for the people that love Spider-Man, like, do it for them. Let them have a good movie again. It's just like stop butchering him. Just think of the children. Think of the children. I don't know, but I don't even know what we're talking about. Oh, yeah, Shia LaBeouf. Yeah. His insanity at least makes more sense in the vein of he's doing it, like, it's almost like the Heath Ledger thing, where he died for, like, to put on this insane performance, no pun intended. You know, it's like, I don't know. I wish at the very least Jamie Foxx's performance would have at least been elevated just slightly. It didn't even have to be on the same level of, I don't know, his performance in Any Given Sunday. Even that was better.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I hate that movie. That movie sucks. Referring to Spider-Man 2, not Any Given Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that was pretty good.
Alligator in the shower.
Yeah, Cameron Diaz in the shower room.
Yeah. I actually don't remember that.
When she went to the locker room, they were all, like, exposing themselves.
Oh, that's right. She's doing interviews, and everyone's just like, "Oh, it's a great time to be naked."
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, what is this movie about again?
I think it was just like, I always felt like they were trying to be edgy. They're like, well, you usually don't see penises in movies, so we're going to give you all the penises you can handle.
A bunch of big, ugly dicks. It's not like they look like works of art.
I don't know. Have you seen the Statue of David, sir?
Well, that's marble. If my dick was made of marble, it would look immaculate. As it stands, it just looks like a weird pound of flesh. Just like, wow, that's it?
Hey, when they walked into Fight Club,
flaccid?
Their penises were like a wad of cookie dough. When they walked out, it was carved out of wood.
It's like whenever those, what do you call it, those Pillsbury croissant things... when the thing accidentally pops and the flour comes out, it's all melty. Yeah. Like, that's what it looks like.
I think that's just destroyed Any Given Sunday for me.
Yeah.
And croissants all in one fatal swoop.
No, not croissants.
I'm just kidding. Croissants are too awesome to be destroyed.
It's almost Christmas.
You put ham in them and cheese. Oh, my God. And croissants are back on the table, literally.
Yeah, right. I'm eating one right now. So crispy on... They're crispy on the outside, but still so fluffy on the inside. It's amazing.
Buttery. A buttery cooter.
Oh, God.
Okay.
All right, we're going to end with that. So, I don't even remember where I saw this on.
That's the name of the podcast, by the way, Buttery Cooter.
I think it was on, like, Yahoo Questions or something. And someone was like, me and my girlfriend are trying to have sex, and we were trying to find us to have something to use for lube or something like that.
We tried butter.
And someone, like, had recommended using butter. And like, well, we need it. Okay, it's like, okay, butter in and of itself. Okay, I guess that can work. But they didn't just use butter. They didn't just use melted butter. They used hot melted butter. So
Jesus.
Yeah,
no.
so she was like, I burnt, how did you put it? But she was just like, yeah, it's like I burnt my cooter or whatever. I was just like, cooter? And like that became like my phrase for like months. Because like, who even says cooter anymore? Yeah.
Nah, I got a messed up buttery cooter.
First degree burns.
Do I go to the hospital, guys?
Yeah, right. Yeah, people were like, oh my God, why would you ever do that?
Why would you ask Yahoo Questions for medical advice?
Well, if you were going to do that to begin with, I can see why they'd go to Yahoo Questions. We need someone with more knowledge than we have. They're like, should I go to the emergency room after I've received first degree burns?
Let me ask the collected deviancy of the internet for help.
Yeah, half of it was, for the love of God, go to the emergency room. The other half is Pixar didn't happen.
Pixar didn't happen.
Oh, man. Well, that's pretty much all we have for this show.
Thanks for tuning in.
Next week we might have a guest. Bluesef might join us. I haven't actually asked him yet because I forgot to ask him. But he might be coming on. We might actually have Fuzzy Slippers if the hippos don't get him again. Yeah. But, of course, be sure to tune in to the Comic Bowl.
A hippo ate my fuzzy.
There wasn't a fuzzy hippo that ate his slippers. But be sure to tune in to the Comic Bubble every Friday, or this Friday, at 8 p.m. Central. I don't know if you have a special guest for this Friday.
I do not.
Well, I guess the special guest is you.
My mind is blown.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm my own best friend.
Just reminded me. Shout-outs to Kelly and Ace Nova for their second year anniversary. I was thinking second, but then for some reason I was thinking fifth. But I think that was something else I was
That's a big
reading.
difference.
Yeah.
Yay, Kelly and Ace. Go happy guys. Woo!
Yeah, that's what it was. She's like, yeah, it's like I'm celebrating the second year of my anniversary after I married my best friend. It touched me. It was so sweet. But yeah, so shout-outs to them. Shout-outs to Carrie Figs for being our one listener in the chat. If we had prizes to give...
Guest.
Guest. Well, guest.
Thank
Well,
guest,
Owl
whoever you are.
and whatever. Damn, I always forget their name. They were here for a good while.
Happy
Like right when
Nova Day.
Carrie showed up,
Stop
they left.
here for a while.
Yeah, that's true. There was the Owl person. There was one other person that was there. But
There's
I
another
Snob.
guest. Oh,
Geek Snob.
Geek Snob. Yeah,
for a
definitely
good while.
shout-outs to Geek Snob. There was one other person then. Okay, so we did have a few people. They were just in there intermittently.
Yeah.
All right. I will give you your just respects. There was somebody
Give
else
some
who I
hearts,
didn't rest.
guys.
Huh?
Give some hearts.
Bloop. And on that day, his heart grew 2 sizes bigger.
Yeah. But anyways, you can catch us at facebook.com. Join the group page, because the group page is pretty interesting. We get a lot of people that don't even normally post in the group, but they do. They don't really talk or come on the podcast, but they do post in the group, and they're pretty active. So it's a small community, tight-knit group, but it's growing, and it's getting pretty cool. So definitely join our group page.
Already 269 members strong.
Yeah.
And make sure to tune into the group page tomorrow at noon Eastern Time for the 3rd episode of the Pit War comic strip.
Dun,
right.
dun, dun.
You can also follow us. Oh, now all the guests come in.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You can also follow us at twitter.com/PTWOR. And what else? You can like our Facebook page, but I think we're kind of slowly starting to wean away from that because the group page is doing a lot better for us.
Yeah, that's my theory, because since when you have the Facebook page, you can't really... I mean, you only a small fraction of the people that you have that like the page even see what you have, so... This is my sly going around that. It's like, well, we'll just post everything in the group page so everybody gets it. So
Yeah.
As far as I know, everybody gets it.
Yeah,
but,
and it works really well.
Yeah, until they screw that up, too. Thanks, Facebook.
Yes. Well, you can also follow the Comic Rebel on Facebook page.
Definitely follow Fuzzy Slippers at Get the Fuzz Out and tell them to come on the podcast.
You can also follow me. I am also on Twitter at Agent 00 Ice.
You can follow me as well at BloodOcean07.
BloodOcean07.
I gotta find you real quick. You can follow me. Just put the link right there. DJ Agamemnon and Blood Ocean. You were right there. Boom. Copy and pasta.
And I'm also on Tumblr at My Crazy Corner.
So do all those things, and we'll see you guys next Monday with all the crazy news that comes out.
Hopefully we'll have an update on World War Shia. Maybe he's recovered from his tragic encounter.
I'm kind of mad it hasn't trend, but kind of expected because we haven't done much.
Oh, I know, right? I know. I wish we could start it all over again and start hashtag and actually hashtag it.
Yeah.
I think we might have been able to have somewhat of a following. I don't know. Maybe we'll start it this week. I'm sure. I mean, because after, I forgot what it was, but it was early on. I think it was after the apology skywriting. I was like, okay, he's probably not going to do anything more after that. And then the paper bag incident. I'm like, all right, I think this is probably the end of World War Shia.
It's just
it
keeps
keeps going. Yeah, I keep literally
he keeps
thinking
piling more
this
stuff
is it.
on.
Yeah, this is. I feel like this is the first chapter because the interview covers almost all of that, and then it's just next week he's going to do some other batshit crazy thing. So World War Shia is definitely alive and well. So in fact, I'm going to tweet that out right now so we don't forget. But anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Join us again next week, same bat time, same bat channel. This is Prometheus.
This is Amaro.
This is BloodOcean07.
This is Ice.
And this has been Straight
Outta
Austin.
This has been another great presentation of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. You can catch more shows at foureyedradio.com.